Welcome, dear listener, to the Epic Tales universe, where history and belief intertwine, bringing ancient worlds back to life. Today, we embark on a journey across icy fjords, turbulent seas, and the boundless horizons of the North to explore the story of the Vikings. Let us set sail into a world of courage, adventure, and discovery. The North, a land of towering mountains, endless forests, and the icy breath of winter. This was the home of the Vikings, a people shaped by the land they lived upon. It was a place of contrasts, where the long, dark winters tested their endurance, and the brief summers filled the world with life, allowing crops to grow and trade to flourish. To the Vikings, life was a constant struggle against nature, but it was also an opportunity for adventure. They did not see themselves as conquerors or destroyers. Instead, they were seekers of land, of wealth, of glory. The world, to them, was a place to be explored, a place to be tested, a place where only the strong and the wise could thrive. At the heart of Viking life was the longhouse, a sturdy structure built of timber, its roof covered with turf to keep the warmth inside. These halls were the center of their communities, where families gathered around great fires to eat, tell stories, and share the joys and hardships of life. The walls of the longhouses were adorned with carvings, their tables laid with wooden bowls, and the air filled with the scent of roasted meat, fresh bread, and mead. The Vikings were not merely warriors. They were farmers, merchants, poets, and craftsmen. They tilled the land, raising livestock and growing barley, rye, and wheat. They wove intricate tapestries, forged strong iron weapons, and carved beautiful designs into wood and stone. They built magnificent ships, their curved hulls cutting through the waves, carrying them to lands both near and far. Their belief system was woven into every aspect of their existence. They saw the world as a vast and interconnected web, where gods, humans, and spirits all played their part. Odin, the All-Father, was the seeker of wisdom, wandering the worlds in search of knowledge. Thor, the Protector, wielded his mighty hammer to shield mankind from chaos. Freyr and Freya, the deities of fertility and love, blessed the land with abundance. Their myths were not just stories but reflections of their struggles, their hopes, and their destiny. The Viking longships were their greatest creation, their sleek forms built for both speed and durability. These ships allowed them to navigate the open sea, reaching lands that few had ever dared to visit. With their dragon-headed prows, they struck fear into those who saw them on the horizon. Yet they were also vessels of peace, carrying traders to distant shores, exchanging goods, stories, and customs. Their raids were legendary, swift, and decisive. Under the cover of night, they would glide across the waters, their warriors leaping ashore with axes and shields in hand. But their conquests were not fueled by blind destruction. The Vikings were strategic, choosing their battles carefully, seeking wealth and power. Many were invited into the courts of foreign kings, serving as mercenaries, rulers, and even advisors. Yet not all Vikings were raiders. Many were settlers, explorers, and pioneers. They established vibrant trade networks, connecting the cold reaches of Scandinavia with the bustling cities of the East and South. They ventured as far as Byzantium, where they served as elite guards in the court of the emperor. They reached the sands of North Africa, where they traded ivory and silver, and they sailed the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, establishing colonies in Iceland, Greenland, and even the distant lands of Vinland, what we now know as North America. One of the most famous Viking explorers was Leif Erikson, the son of Erik the Red. Inspired by tales of land beyond the sea, he led a daring voyage westward, finding a new world untouched by European hands. There, in the forests of Vinland, the Vikings built temporary settlements, but their time there was brief. The indigenous peoples, whom they called the Skrælings, resisted their presence, and after a few years, the Vikings returned home, leaving behind a mystery that would be rediscovered centuries later. Viking society was not ruled by a single king but by chieftains and jarls, men of power and influence who led their people in both war and peace. They gathered in the Thing, a great assembly where decisions were made, disputes settled, and laws passed. This was a place of debate, where even the poorest could speak their mind, for the Vikings believed in justice, in the right to be heard, in the power of words as much as swords. Women in Viking society were more than mere bystanders. They were strong, independent, and respected. They managed the farms, oversaw trade, and in some cases even went to battle. The sagas tell of shield maidens, fierce warriors who fought alongside men, proving that courage was not bound by gender. Viking women could inherit land, seek divorce, and hold power, making them unique among many cultures of their time. The most feared of Viking warriors were the Berserkers, men who fought with unyielding fury, their minds lost in the rage of battle. They wore the skins of wolves and bears, believing that their spirits would merge with their own, granting them supernatural strength. To see a berserker on the battlefield was to witness pure chaos, a whirlwind of steel and madness. Yet, for all their strength, the Vikings also embraced art and poetry. Skalds, the poets of the North, composed intricate sagas that told of great heroes and tragic fates. They memorized entire histories, passing them down through generations, ensuring that the deeds of the past were never forgotten. As time passed, the world began to change. The kingdoms of Europe grew stronger, their defenses more formidable. The Viking raids slowed, and many Norsemen settled into the lands they once sought to conquer. Some became rulers, their descendants blending into the cultures of England, Ireland, and France. The Normans, the ancestors of the mighty conquerors of England, were once Vikings who had made a new home in northern France. The old gods, too, began to fade. With the spread of Christianity, many Vikings embraced the new faith, their temples replaced with churches, their sagas rewritten in the language of the monks. The last great Viking kings stood at the crossroads of two worlds, torn between the traditions of their ancestors and the demands of the new age. Yet, the spirit of the Vikings never truly disappeared. Their legacy lived on in the lands they touched, in the words they spoke, in the stories they left behind. Even today, their myths and beliefs continue to inspire, their longships sailing in the imaginations of those who hear their tale. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of the Vikings. If you enjoyed this tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Epic Tales universe. Let us continue exploring the wonders of ancient stories together. Until next time, may your path be filled with adventure.